good evening if anybody's watching. If nobody's watching, it's fine as well. Get this stream started. I don't know how everybody is tonight. A lot of news on the internet's front. Last couple of hours, last couple of days. Have to try our best to stay out of trouble. Yeah, that's the best way of saying it. We're gonna be trying to play a few NES games tonight. 2 that have been proposed for speedruns. So we're going to play some Batman, and we're gonna play some Pinball Quest, which is Batman is a very well-known game. Pinball Quest a little bit less, let's be honest. Warmed up a little bit with Batman. I did this first stage. Gonna reset it. Mash, mash, mash. Try it. Pile up ammos because it's a well-known fact that Batman shoots people with different guns. Oh, well. At least the basic weapon still is the Batarang. It's the other two weapons, like the spear gun and the dirk, which makes no sense. But the rest kind of works. A bit. And punch stuff. I don't know if it's my controller that's as a input delay or if it's the game itself that has input delay. Could very well be my controller. Is a very cheap NES knockoff controller. You have to punch people, get resources. I think B is just bonus points. There's arts that give you some health. And there's the ammo, which is useful for taking out the enemies. The Batarangs are the weirdest weapons because they seem awful until you get to a point where they kill everything like super quick. I'm never sure how good they really are. The punches work fairly well, as you can see. Here I'm going to use meringues. Get rid of those foaming remote mines. Apparently that's the name of them. You can tell it's the way Sunsoft did games during the NES era was basically they made a game and then tried to get someone to put a license on it. I mean, this is Batman in name only, basically. You fight the Joker at the end. I guess that's what makes it Batman. I mean, the first boss is called Killer Moth, which is a bad guy in C, so I guess that's okay. There's that ninja smoking a cigarette here at the start of that stage. For the first boss... the first boss is pretty easy, as you can see once you get the pattern. Punch, 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 Batman, 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 punch, 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 Batman. This is the stage where things start getting already a little bit dicey. The first stage is really easy. The second one, you already feel that they went up with the difficulty. It is a pretty difficult game, at least to optimize. So, not super long though. It's something like 15 minutes for the full run. which is not the longest game I've ever seen, let's say. Punch, 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 ninja. Punch, 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 punch. So here you have to drop and try to get a proper jump out of this. Not always easy. I remember this scene from Batman 98. The one where he's in a weird power plant, and no, this makes no sense. So here it's kind of a shortcut if you just know how to wall jump a little. This is the first part of this game where you already have to, well, at least understand the movement mechanic. Punch, punch. You can do small jumps and big jumps. As you can see here, you need to be a little bit more careful with your jumps, because if you jump too much, you're gonna end up in the lightning. Like this, you know. That toast. As you can see, it is not a super easy game. I have to learn everything because I've seen speedruns of this game plenty of time. I've seen guides on how to play it, so I have an idea. But I've not actually beaten this game. I think I've gotten to stage 4, I would say. Yeah, I'm not very good at it yet. But I mean, playing... The only way I'll really improve is by playing it, so... Punch, punch. The combat's not too terrible from what I've noticed, so at least there's that. I'm able to figure out the combat pretty well. Here you drop. I have to drop more than that. Bat toast. Oh. Not an easy game for sure, yeah. I mean, people proposed that I would try this game for a speedrun. I am not a professional speedrunner, so you can imagine that this might not be the easiest game to speedrun, but probably a good one to dip my toes in. Because it would be a game that would show me some... that I would need some talent to do. Someone said Castlevania as well, but the thing is, with Castlevania, I've got it on the PS5, so I'm actually already pretty good at Castlevania 1. Castlevania 3, well, I sometimes get somewhere. Castlevania 3 is definitely one of the hardest game on the NES. I have to drop a... Okay, still more than that. Okay. Ow. Ow. Okay, if I had not bumped into that guy, I don't think I can respawn the enemies. I would have farmed some health here, because I think this is the boss. Oh, not yet. Oh, boy. Bum, bum. That toast. Well, okay, the continues are not really that bad, though. It's a... For that, it probably means that it's a bit of an easier game than some that I've played, let's say. I don't think there's a number of... No, okay, you can't go on. Okay. But you do have to... Poof. Well. Jump, jump. Also, take that alt. Might be an idea. Ugh. Oh. Well. Where am I supposed to go? What? Okay, yes. Here, and then you drop. Okay. That toast. We're happy to give all sorts of videos. That's the main goal of the channel. But I do stream every evening now, just so, well, it's a thing to do, but it's also a pretty pretty rewarding to talk to the fans and talk to the people. And if the people have some opinions and some things they want to bring up, well, it's a good time to do it. Because since the videos I do are pre-recorded. Ugh. Why? Yeah, this one. Bum, bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. I could farm Elt, but kind of need to figure out how this game works. Bat toast. More bat toasts. We're gonna play a little bit of this and then a bit of Pinball Quest, which is the weird game of the lot, let's say. Which was proposed to me by someone on Discord, actually, who is a big pinball fan, so I should have expected something like that from him, but you know. I jumped too much here. This, if you go this way, you've got the threat. It's a little bit more difficult than if you don't fall. But... can farm alt and ammo off these guys really easily, so I am going to do it. Ball. I have to do a light tap. Yeah, it's a light tap jump for that one. This is boss number 2. So you destroy the first bit, then go up there and you bring this thing. What I understood. Then you... Okay, it's closer than that. There is a sweet spot where you're immune right there. And I still die. Oh, you have to restart. Well, you have to restart just this section. Not that bad. At least the checkpoint system is not catastrophically difficult to deal with compared to some. I mean, a lot of games, if I had to do a continue, they would restart me at the start of stage 2 and not midway through like I am now. Knockback is pretty nasty in the game, I have to admit. Bat toast. Yes, the classic bat toast chance. And you will probably hear me do it quite a bit, because I am not very good at this game, as we can see. I like this game a lot more than they had Batman 2 Return of the Joker. And that one I have a very hard time with. It doesn't feel right at all. This one just feels weird for a Batman game. But Return of the Joker just doesn't. Bat toast. Again. Oh, wait. Try again. Punch this guy. You go here. Punch this guy. Okay, I have a hard time with that small tap. There we go. You do this, though, you can skip part of the enemies. For some reason, that enemy there doesn't spawn if you don't do that. Okay, small tap jump works here. At least my mashing's not awful. Alright, the boss. Now, how do we... Bat toast! It restarts me at the boss? Okay. So to continue, it doesn't restart me at the boss, but with this, it restarts me at the boss. Alright. Oh, they do with the Dirk here, I think, for the... Since you can shoot it and almost... It goes through the entire screen. That's how you do this boss. Okay. It's not as terrible as I thought it was. And at least being in the sewers kind of fits Batman, so... Okay, those guys are... I remember those guys when Arceus gets killed by them. Yeah, getting into fights with them is pretty pointless, so you just go through. You hope they don't follow you. Okay. I got Bat Toasts again. Unlimited continues really make this game... It's hard, but at least it's, you know, tolerable. Oh, jeez. My problem is that I'm completely out of ammo, so it makes fighting anything quite problematic. And if you can avoid those guys, it's not as bad. I have some ammo now? Yeah, okay. Alright. Well, we got one out of the way, so that's a bit less damage on me. This one you can just, if you're just a little bit fast. Now, okay, you followed me. It's the absolute lack of iframes you get in this game. It's all right. That kind of worked. I always think the water is gonna move me because of those big fans there. Not sure. I'm probably gonna build a Italian tank and part of my Italian stuff that I got for bolt action. And I might paint a little bit. I'm not 100% sure what my weekend's plans are yet, because I never know if the kids are gonna want to do anything or the wife's gonna want to do anything. We have the regular, have to go do groceries, things like that. But that's not a special. That toast. I know if there's anybody in the US, they can have nice plans for the weekend because it's a long weekend for our Americans friends. We had it last week here in Canada for Victoria Day. You have to record a video on the Enforcer and one on the Dragonfly. That's what I've got lined up for that. Oh, planting the garden is an important thing to do, so I hope you have a good luck doing that. Feels like you need a lot of ammo to do anything. And I am always low on it. Well, we've got those two out. What are you planning to plant, or is there anything in particular? We did some planting earlier, but only of grass in our case, because we needed some grass seeded. Which is, I hope the neighbor does some of his lawn work as well, because his yard is looking really overrun right now. All right. Oh, I understand. We had a little bit of time here where it was raining all the time, so it got kind of difficult. And now it's been dry and hot for a couple days. We had to sow the entire front yard last year, so now there's some blind spots basically in our yard, which is kind of normal when you sow instead of getting the sod. But I mean, it was a lot cheaper to sow than doing the sod. And with how crazy expensive everything else is getting, well, maybe getting... Jesus. Oh, I managed to kill him at least. There we go. Wow. I'm out of ammo. Gee, this game is violent. It doesn't want you to win, that's for sure. I mean, I'm at stage 3, and I think there's 5 stages, so I mean, it's not a very long, at least physically long game. I mean, I have no idea what you're supposed to do there. If you have no ammo, you just can't go through. Because you get it, and your punches don't register anymore, so... I'll reset the game. Try the first 2 stages again. Let's do that. It's a really fun game. Don't get me wrong, but it is really rough. Then again, Sunsoft was known for making rough games as well. Journey to Silius, as an example, is one of the toughest games on the NES by Sunsoft as well. I have a whole... Trying to think of other games. Blaster Master wasn't terribly difficult if you played a Japanese version. If you played a US version, you only got 2 continues. It's a little bit more annoying. Fester's Quest was also weird because you could find items that lower your level of your weapons. That was like a thing that they did in the game that shouldn't have been there because it was just too mean. And you can tell, like, Fester's Quest, if you play it a little bit and you've played Blaster Master, you'll notice a lot of the enemies themselves between. And Sunsoft was a weird production company. They had an idea and they ran with it, which was we are going to license as many properties as possible from those Americans. It worked, but they have a couple of weird games. I have to say, Fester's Quest, Adam's Family video game where you play Fester, don't play Gomez. Like the one on the Genesis is not by Sunsoft, I think. But it's with Gomez. You play as Gomez, and you have to do stuff around the house. In the that weird Fester's Quest, you're just Fester running around fighting aliens. It makes very little sense. This boss is pretty easy once you figure out the pattern. First time I fought him, though, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. Now I'm like, okay, you don't even really need to move to beat him. That's the Punch Punch song. Punch Punch, Punch Punch, Punch Punch. Punch, punch, punch. Batman. Sorry, I don't know my exact wording for my Arcus songs. For some of them. Arcus hasn't been playing Batman recently, though. He's just been doing Ninja Gaiden. But it's the first game in his Arcathlon series when he does the like 50 video games in a week, which is crazy in my opinion. But he does it. I mean, I'd be able to play 50 games in a week, but beat 50 games in speedrun situation, that's a bit beyond me. I mean, if I did it 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, be my full-time job like what Arcus is doing, it would be different. There you're supposed to grab the side there and jump, but Haven't been able to do that yet. And 2-2. Two twos, the electric plant. It's not too difficult. There's a big shortcut here if you know how to do the proper wall jumps. Saves you a couple seconds, or maybe a minute even. So it's not bad. And it's where you have to learn to do the small tap jumps and the big tap jumps. Here I need a small tap jump. Here I need a big tap jump. I asked, what are you trying to grow this year in your garden? Feels a bit late as well to plant, but that might be just my wife wanting to plant early all the time. I did that part really well. I did it clean, but I still got hurt. No? There. Oh yeah, here you have to wait until this guy gets through and dies. A miserable death. You have to wait until there's 3. I tried. It's already good that it's the first death I take at 2-3, so... Was wanting to farm some else, but... My ammo's pretty much full. Gotta go way down when I get to the boss, but hey. Yeah, your iframes are really short in this game. That's probably a thing that makes it difficult. Or more difficult than it should, let's say. Here you just have to let yourself drop. Small tap jump. Here you can let yourself fall. And I get killed by a homing mine. Okay. Okay, we're almost doing good in this game. I think to learn the actual speedrun, of course, the first thing I need to do is beat the game, obviously. But to learn the actual speedrun for this one is not that difficult because of a few odd factors. There is very little RNG in this game, which usually a big plus when doing a speedruns. So that's a big plus. The only real RNG is, are you getting the ammo you need? Which is not as difficult as it seems. Of course, getting the speed to do the whole thing might not be the easiest. Oh yeah, don't mash this weapon. I've just noticed that when I mashed with it, it ate through my ammo, but only one of the shots went through. Huh. Well, that's a learning experience. I mean, starting this stage with 40 ammo is a lot better than like the 8 that I had last time. Come on. Still got bat toasted, but it wasn't as terrible. The Batarang take 1 ammo and you can mash the Batarang. It's really the Dirk, the 3-way shot thing, that you can't mash. Spear gun takes 2 per shot. Boomerang has just a little bit more range than the flamethrower guys, so it's not bad for that. Once you get those guys out, this stage is not that terrible. It's really the jumpy guys that are the problem. I say that and I get murdered. Hey, I'm learning. That's the important bit. Every second you learn in a game. And yes, the way I learned to play BattleTech is by losing a lot of games. So there we go. It's important to know how to lose before you know how to win. My brother liked to sneak advanced rules on me when we were playing when I was a kid, so it kind of made things difficult. You know, you don't quite know the rules because you're like 9 years old and your brother's the one teaching you how to play, and he goes with some of the advanced rules that you've never seen before, like aerospace fighter with bombs. Like, I had never played with aerospace fighters, and we had decided to play with aerospace fighter in this one game. And he decided to put bombs on them. I didn't even know you could put bombs on aerospace fighters. You know, things got weird. Another one that he caught me off guard with was blast exhaust on dropships. Killing some of my mechs by having one of his dropship lift off was not the funnest experience in my life, let's say. There are people who will tell you that there's maybe too many rules in BattleTech, and I would tend to agree in some cases, but then you play Alpha Strike and you notice that there's not enough rules. That's a thing that makes BattleTech really weird, let's say. I will recharge my everything's here. Hey, we got to the second part of the stage. Oh. Well. We got to the second part of the stage. All right, let's be a little bit more careful. There we are. Okay, I need to go the other way. Okay. Well. Oh, there's more of those guys? Okay, that one I could evade. Oh, now he's back. Great. toast. Much 58. Okay, but okay ammo, I guess. A little bit more. Ba-boom, ba-boom. There's like nothing you can do. Once you're stun locked by those guys, you're dead. I mean, Alpha Strike is okay if you're going to do those larger combined arms kind of battles. If you're liking just to do mech versus mech, it's really not a fun game. But for combined arms, all sorts of things like that, it can be fun. But it lacks the complexity of regular Battletech, so for me, it's not enough. That's, I think, my problem with it. That it feels like it's missing something. I understand the principle behind Alpha Strike, at least. There's multiple reasons why they're designing it, but the base idea of wanting the game to be a little bit faster is good. But you do have to use some alternate rules to make it at least a little bit more. Strangely enough, it's a game where you want it to be a little bit more clunky than what they are selling it as. Because the base game is not clunky enough. It causes other issues, basically. One of my friends prefers it because it's a lot faster. I understand the idea, but I'm not sold on a game being faster being always a good thing. Battletech, I feel, needs to be a little bit clunky. All right, last continue, then we'll play some Pinball Quest. Should page Matt and tell him we're going to play Pinball Quest. I think you can despawn these guys, actually. I'll rewatch at least the... there is a guide from the guy who did You Can Beat Video Games. It's a pretty good channel. I like it. The kids like it. Oh, I'll take Elt. That's pretty pickle. And his guide for this game is pretty good. He's got some guys that are rather cringy, but the guide for this game is pretty straightforward. It's a guide for Batman. I do need to install MegaMech properly and maybe do a game a week, something like that, maybe against people. I'm really trying to get a feel of what I want my streaming schedule to be, and I get killed. Oh, I mean, Alpha Strike, I mean, I don't even feel like it's really worth it. So, In the box, even the box itself for Alpha Strike, I didn't feel was worth it. You only get 2 new mechs out of the box. It felt a bit weak, but then again, almost everything CGL does feels weak. So, come on. In the original, I'd say the original Armored Warfare box was good. The original Clan Invasion box was good as well, especially at the price point they were selling them original. Alpha Strike, like I said, feels weak because you get the same mechs you were getting everywhere else, and all those mercenary boxes that they made. Okay, you've got some alternate configurations, I guess. They're cool, but it's mostly mechs you've already had and some weird designs that a lot of people don't play. The Comstar boxes, the 2 Comstar boxes are really good. Proliferation Cycle I thought was okay, but then people keep pointing out it should have had the Toro in it, and I agree. Because the Toro is a Proliferation Cycle mech. No question asked there. So, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, one other thing I found weird was those mercenary boxes, the prices went way up. Not just like $1 up or $5 up. No, they went like $10 up on them at first, and then the prices kept going up, and I'm like, this is not very fun. Where's Pinball Quest? Where did I put it? Okay, what I'm gonna do is Pinball Quest. There it is. Oh, the Irby box. The Irby box for the meme was okay. The one with the 4 Irbies at 4 different configuration, that one was fine. The Irby Company box was stupid, and I really find it nasty that they got it. Yes, you're a pinball, and there's a pinball princess, and she was kidnapped, and the king was beaten up, and you're trying to go fight monsters now. It makes perfect sense. I'm okay with the Irby box because people would want it at some point, I guess. I mean, it's not catastrophic. Yes, it's silly mechs. The price point they sold it was a little bit high, but, life is life. I skip his dialogue? Not really, okay. For now, I basically add every CGL box, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep buying CGL plastic, at least for a little bit. I'll see. Of course, I'm not going to be completely evil, let's say. Whoops, I died. You don't have a limited number of balls, but the way the game works is really nasty. If you complete one part of the quest and you die, well, you go back to the previous part of the quest, which makes it pretty rough. I am also not the biggest pinball either fanatic or best pinball player, let's say. Got Matigator that gets into chat every once in a while. He's a huge pinball guy. Plays on actual pinball machines and stuff like that, so the really fancy stuff. I know he bought a couple of expensive pinball machines, so. Rather than buying more CGL plastic, I really feel like I should get a 3D printer. It's sad, but true. Now I have to fight skeletons. And if you fail, well, it goes down and you have to start again. But it's not too difficult here to get back to that mid-section. You get gold. The points for this game is literally gold, so... When you kill enough of the skeletons, they turn into a big skeleton. So that's the progression in the game. There he is, the big skeleton guy. It's a resin printer that I want to get, not a wire printer. My friend had a wire printer before. He didn't quite like it. Now, as a resin one, it's pretty good, but it got messed up last week. And then his car got messed up. So, yeah, things, started piling up for him. And he was going to Ottawa for a... Flames of War / Team Yankee tournament this weekend. So usually the guy I play with every Sunday, well, for the last couple Sundays, I go play with him, but this week I won't because he's kind of out of town. So a good resin printer is not that expensive nowadays. My friend, basically the way he told me was pretty much like, yeah, just don't bother with the 4K, 8K printers that they sell. Just get a decent basic printer and you'll be good to go. 5,000 gold. I'll buy 2 single stop. Now I have to fight a wizard. The wizard, Harry. And the wizard summons cats for some reason. What you can do is you can put lockers. Oops, I put 2 on the same side. That's absolutely useless. Okay, great. Oh, it's only 1 use. Okay, so there might be useful. And if you fall, you try to go back up, as you see, it doesn't let me. Maybe there's a way. I don't know. But so you have to go back down down a level and start again. This makes the game rather tedious, as you see. It allows you to pile up some gold, which might be good because you can there's other stoppers that are more permanent and more useful, like the middle stopper, which would have helped me here, but middle stopper is like 8,000 gold. I don't want to make Matt feel bad, but I'm not sure I'm going to speedrun this game. Batman makes sense. I'm very okay with Batman for speedrun. Because it's not only is it a good game, but it's one that's fairly speedrunnable. This one here, I don't know what I need to learn to be able to properly run it. The problem with the Mackie is, like, it's cool to have a couple of Mackies or something like that because it's a cool model and a cool, story element thing. But it's definitely not a great mech. It's an okay mech, I guess, in the various configs you've got for it. And it's... I think one of the biggest problems with the Mackie is you can't play it in a lot of situations, let's say. It's a... There you go. I mean, the Auscarita book is I think it's a better purchase. I'll be honest with you. I think the Auscarita book is a better purchase because it'll have, well, not only value longer, but it's a thing that you'll be able to reread, see a couple times, and it'll be interesting every time you read it. I'd rather have a book than plastic or even metal minis in many cases, at least for these books. Um, the bonk. Come on. Come on. Yeah, as you can see, I'm not sure we'd be speedrunning this. But again, I have to learn the game if I want to be able to speedrun it, but Iron Wind still has a couple of good minis that I would want, and that I'm pretty sure like CGL won't be making models of anytime soon. But they also have some models that they don't have and that I would like to have, but they're never available. That's another weird bit here. Like the Treasure 2, I'd like to have a Treasure 2 as an example for a model, but it's not available anywhere that I can think of. And that makes things a little bit difficult. I did beat this stage before. This is basically, I got to this stage, and there you go. Nothing I could do. And I've lost the $8,000 investment that I did on that center stopper. There must be strategies I'm missing in this game. Must be things that I'm missing. Okay, then. I know you can shake the machine, so maybe that's a thing that I need to start figuring out, like when to shake, how to shake. I don't think the machine tilts like in some other games when you shake it too much, so. Boink. Boom, boom. Pinball Quest, Charles. I've beaten stage 1 and 2. I've never gone past that. That's still stage 1, Charles. That's now I'm fighting skeletons for some reason. Stage 3, I think, is easier than stage 2. The biggest problem with stage 2 is that you've got a nice, deep middle lane. So if your ball goes down that middle lane, you're kind of screwed. And I have to think of bringing my paddles down, and there we go. I go back down. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to speedrun this game. It is, however, I would say one of the weirdest game on the NES. There's no questions there. I mean, whoever thought of making a pinball RPG is probably the weirder person here. There is a car racing RPG on the TurboGrafx 16. It makes a little bit more sense, but it's funny for the start of the game, but then it gets kind of boring because it's very repetitive. I mean, car racing RPGs would make sense for things like Initial D or something like that as well. It's not the weirdest thing ever. Pinball RPG, and you're not playing like the wizard in the Who musical, you know. The speedrun record for this game is 8 minutes. I have no idea how they managed to do that. The thing is, there's probably not glitches, but there's probably like precise pixels for everything that you need to learn, like where it is on your paddle to go be able to do anything. Because I doubt there's any major randomness to this kind of game. Because it's how these kinds of game work. It's generally more of a mechanical thing. I have no idea what's going on here. I've got a few hits on the wizard. It didn't help, but I've got a few hits on the wizard. He's shooting like lightning bolts. Oh, the old... What? The things he throws change the colors of my paddles. Oink. Everything's blue now, so... I broke the weird altar that was on the side. There we go, middle. If you can get through the middle as well, I'm not doing as bad as usual with that. The music is okay. I mean, it's a very okay game. I'm not sure if I was a kid and that'd be the game my parents brought in at Christmas, I would be super thrilled. But, you know, it's not the worst game on the NES. All right, that's enough. Enough of this, as they say. There. I'll go with a game I'm actually good at. Go with a game I'm actually good at. Maybe I should actually speedrun this. It'd be difficult, though. It's not a super easy game to speedrun, but... I already cleared this particular area. I think I want to go buy some items, though, so... This is a game I'm actually sort of sad that there hasn't been any sequels or actual full-on remakes or things on the side, because the idea here to have a shooter slash RPG like this is not a bad one. I mean, someone tried to do a like roguelike version of it. There's been a few attempts by people to, you know, do the old let's try to remake the game, but a little bit differently. But all those attempts either went nowhere or kind of disappeared. The game itself doesn't, I don't think, is anybody really has the rights to it or wants to fight for the rights to it. So it's a bit of an odd spot. Where's the... Oh, that's the guy that tells you that there's seals. Looking for the... That's the final dungeon. That's the final corridor where it's at when you finish the game. Blow up the planet, basically. Now I'm messing up. No, there's a merchant there. If I remember. Is that a merchant? People, that's the guy that tells you there's merchants. Okay. What I want is the shot. I already bought this one. That's what I want. Okay. That's the weapon I wanted. Bye. I need level 2 of this to be able to beat one of the bosses easily. I'll just... refill my money, refill my health, and go to the next location. There is a few books that I'd want to get. Even in some of the recent ones, Operation Klondike would be one I'd like to get. Because apparently it's a really good one to begin with. But there's a lot of stuff in Operation Klondike that I'm interested in terms of how the plot goes. I'd like to... This is one of the books I'd like to read. Right, save point. That's a corridor, if I remember right. Yeah. Yeah, let's just clear it. No, I want the items from the local bosses first. The ground bosses. I don't have the laser sword yet? That could be a problem. An evil crab. That guy dies real quick to the laser sword. That's why I wanted it. It looks like he has a minimum range on those bubbles. Just like an LRM. Inner Sphere one, at least. Didn't even check what I grabbed. We have level 1 of this? Okay. Oh, I think that was attack up. Which is pretty important. Face it. Dealing more damage is always a big plus. Laser sword is probably one of the best weapon in the game, in my opinion. Just because it does damage per frame. Anything in a video game that does damage per frames is usually not balanced. Let's go with that. It's like the Spin Slash and Ninja Gaiden. Like, Spin Slash and Ninja Gaiden is this dies, the attack. So, do I need to go this way or the other way? I can't remember. It was the other way. Oh well. Delays me by a couple seconds. Kill those guys. The other corridor there. There's a boss in the corner. Yep. Whoa! What is that? Wait, what? There we go. Ah, yes. Gives me a bit of a wider shot as well. Which is very good when you're doing the corridors. And that's extra alt. I'll take extra alt. Alt is good. All right, let's go kill some fish. Land air mech. I need to write up the rules for the VTOL lamb that I did. It was silly. I've been doing all sorts of VTOL stuff recently, so it was only normal that I'd get to doing the VTOL lamb. Basically mechs that can turn into helicopters. Because it's fun. Would it be balanced? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know exactly how we'd balance that. But it'd be fun. Ah! Fishes are too fast. Fishes are too fast. Come on. Come on. The difficulty doesn't quite ramp up until like the third zone. Second zone, the jungle zone is, there's some levels that are difficult in it, but they're not, you know, terrifying. While for the crystal zone afterwards, things get really dicey in some of those corridors. Like right now, I still have like time to dodge things and think of what I'm doing. In the later stages, you don't get that chance. Come on. Come on. I know you want to kill me. The fireball is really, really good against this boss. Because I can literally just stick in the middle, shoot the fireball, and it works. Fireball is also a pretty decent weapon, because it goes through enemies, and you get multiple hits on, like this boss here and a few other bosses, you get multiple hits on, so it goes fairly quick. Laser sword! There we go. Got a cool weapon. I'm a Jedi now. Or a Gundam, one of the two. Oh, I have to go around to get back to the other corridor. Okay, well, let's go. Walk, 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 walk. Right. Some health back, some chips back. Go. Ugh. All right. Go do this one. As you can see, I'm much better at this game than I am at Pinball Quest. Come on, manta rays, attack me. And the fact that there's still like periods in the here where there's no enemy, nothing at all. Makes me feel that they forgot to put stuff there, basically. Then again, they don't need to be as aggressive as with, let's say, Gradius or Salamander, because you're not going to be pumping quarters into a machine playing TGL. You're going to be just playing the game on a console, so there's less incentive to make the shooter stage as difficult as possible, other than just to challenge the player. And the later levels are plenty challenging. The first ones are really chill compared to where some of the further level go. That's what I normally use against them. There we go. Wasn't too difficult. This boss is the first one that I think gives me trouble. Giant crab was pretty easy, or crayfish, or whatever it was. The actual chapter boss was pretty easy. This one here gives me issues just because of how much projectiles there's on the screen at sometimes. There can be something like 6 or 7 projectile plus the boss. You're gonna start having some trouble at some point. But with the double shot that I was using, he's generally not too difficult to take care of. Right. Go back here. You can see it unlocked just one location south of us, which is the start of the jungle zone, basically. Should I try to get the items? It has one of the best songs in the game. Laser sorted. Yes, even the V might even be better against them. Shield. Or defense. Which might be good because I'm a bit tight here. Oh well. Extra chips and full life refill. I'll take a full life refill. That's always good. And 400 chips mean I can use my weapon and keep a wider beam. I don't remember everything. Just a password. Well, not a bad thing. More rapid fire. Rapid fire is a weird upgrade in this game because there's. It seems that at some point you get more. Just if you get too many, it starts actually being counterproductive. I'm not sure what the exact limit is or what you really need to. Looking for the other boss. Oh, there he is. That was easy. Ask and you shall receive, I guess. And laser sword again. He summons a bunch of spiders when it disappears, but since you've got the laser sword, you just kill all of them. And that was Enemy Eraser. Okay. Enemy Eraser kills all the enemies on the screen, except few exceptions. And you need to get the first shot of Enemy Eraser for the enemies to start dropping Enemy Eraser, because you only have a limited number of shots of it. I've got 20 now, which is more than enough for what I'm needing to do in this area in general. But in later stages, you start using Enemy Eraser liberally. We'll go with that term here. It's one of the rare things I'm liberal about. Ha ha! It's a joke. No. Here. You can already see that in this stage, things start already a little bit more hardcore than it was in the previous one. Got those meteors always falling. Almost always have at least one enemy on screen. Those things take a massive amount of damage before you can destroy them. And they spawn semi-randomly. And they do deal a decent chunk of damage if you're... Bum, 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 bum. In just having the little meteors always on screen, there's always something that can deal damage to you, is a big difference compared to the stage 1 sea levels. Those plants, they shoot projectiles that you can't destroy without an enemy, the enemy eraser as well. So you can start, seeing where the difficulty ramps up here. It's not a huge ramp up yet, because most things can easily be destroyed still. But you're getting there, basically. I don't have enough defense to just do the old stand in the middle of them and tank them. The side laser swords work really well here. It's really to get rid of the projectiles that it does a very good job. since there's a lot of projectiles, there's a lot of chances that they're gonna drop health or something like that. So this boss is a little bit annoying, but he's not too hard. Jeez, he's taking a lot longer than I remember, though. Not like he's very difficult, he's just very long. Should have time to complete the other stage, the other corridor that's right next to it, and then I'll call it a night. Boom, 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 boom. Extra defense. I'll take extra defense, always good to have. This one's easy, you just have to wait. It'll automatically open. Coming. Mushroom Forest. Oh. You can see there's now a decent amount of stuff on the screen. And if I let those flying whatever those are fill up the screen, you're gonna have a lot of stuff moving, which is surprising for the NES because there's a bit of slowdown in this game, but not as much as one would expect on an NES game. I would love to see what they would have been able to do on a 16-bit console. Then again, you know, 16-bit consoles are always a huge step up compared to 8-bit console. We don't notice as big of a difference nowadays between generation of consoles compared to those generations here with the NES, the Super NES, N64, PlayStation 2 even. There was a huge difference between the consoles. Is it this boss or is this a different boss? I don't remember which boss this is. Oh crap, it's him. I don't have the level 2 fireball. Normally you'd have level 2 fireball against them. Must have forgotten to buy it somewhere. This is probably one of the worst bosses just because of the speed at which he can release those walls of his. The only thing that can really break those walls is the fireball. And it needs to be a level 2 fireball, not a level 1. So, well, I have a feeling that I might get killed. I am very close to death. Oh. 1 HP survival hype? 1 HP survival hype. It's a one-eyed beholder. Yes, it is a one-eyed beholder. I think they're... Never mind. It's D&D. There is bound to be a one-eyed beholder. I think they're spectators. Is that the name of it? The small beholders. You can't play them as anything else. Wow, it's only a health refill. Very useful. You can't play any beholders unless you're playing a D&D game. 1 HP survival hype was quite surprising. I really thought I was going to die there. All right. I will see everybody later. I thank you very much for listening to me today. And this weekend, no stream as usual. I'm going to be recording videos. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.